Squad, this is the Velvet Locks with another wonderful video for you today. Now in this video, we're going to be having a little lock discussion talk about extensions. Now this is Desiree Marie, my daughter. She also has a lock channel on your YT. So I'm going to list down her channel down below and also in the description bar so you can check out all the wonderful things she has to do regarding locked hair. Now today's discussion is about extensions.
The different ways you can go about doing it. How do you know what a good time to add that into your hair regimen, how it benefits your hair, what your experience is with it, and whatnot, because people have a misconception about lock extensions and it's not all bad. So
yeah, we're going to get into that because not all lock extensions are bad. Not everybody that put extensions in their hair that is locked is doing a bad thing to your hair. So we're going to get into a little bit more details on that, okay? So stay tuned. So let's clear this up right now. Just because you put extensions in your hair doesn't mean that you're not natural, okay? There's different ways and reasons why you would put an extension in your hair. For me, in particular, I have some lock extensions in my hair because I've grown a lot of little baby locks. As you can see, I have quite a few of them throughout my hair. All right, here's another one. There's about a good, I would say, 10 of them hiding around inside my hair. But I would put a lock extension on those to make it more uniform. Now, this is one in particular that I've done like several years ago, and it's pretty much growing out. So yeah, this is one that I've done, and as you can see, the color of it is horrible. Now I've talked about this brand before. When you're doing a lock extension, make sure that you get a brand that is 100% human, that is able to color, and doesn't have any synthetic type of fiber inside of it at all. If you're going to do a lock extension, make sure it's 100% kinky. And I don't mean that Marley hair. I mean human kinky hair. And it usually comes in a bundle, not in a pack that's like extended. So it's usually in a bundle. The pack that I decided to use at this particular time, and I complain about it all the time, is that Vivica Fox. It claims it's human hair, and it's not 100% human. It does not take color, and I didn't realize that until after I purchased it, where it said does not color. Okay, so when you do any type of extension on your hair, you must make sure that it is 100% natural.
Okay, so a lot of people think that, okay, you already addressed it, that a lot of people think when you wear lock extensions you're not natural, which is not true. You know, you're adding on top of your natural hair just for, you know, aesthetic purpose. You want the hair to look a certain way. Can you think of any other benefits to adding extensions to your hair?
Well, the first one, like I mentioned, is for your hair to be uniform. Like if you've done maintenance on your hair, and with all the hair growth that goes on through your whole journey, you're going to have a lot of hair fibers in between your hair, in between your locks. So sometimes you can use that to start more locks into your hair. So when you're doing that, that means you're pretty much starting all over. And some people don't mind the little baby hairs sticking here and there outside in between, you know.
Like when your hair is, because your hair is constantly growing, so in between you're already, sometimes you would have little sprouts of hair, like new growth.
Yeah.
So you're talking about attaching it to the new growth.
You could either attach that onto your actual lock, already locked hair, or you can actually start new locks. And when you start new locks, that means you have a lot of little baby locks, such as this. So whatever the size of that lock is, you would have to make sure that your lock extension is the same type of diameter, or else it will be too heavy and then it could break your actual hair at the root. And there's nothing wrong with adding on an extension onto your already locked hair. You know, there's nothing unnatural about that.
Exactly. That's your preference.
Yeah.
So how long should you wait to add a lock extension to the lock? Should it be 100% locked? Like what kind of, how long should you wait for that new growth to like mature before you add an extension?
Alright, let me show you. What I like to do is I like to wait until it's actually locked. Like as you see, even though it's a small baby lock, it's locked, it's sealed. It takes a faster time for them to seal because they're small. So
sure.
I like to wait until it looks like it's actually locked, it's sealed, and then I would like right now they're ready for a lock extension. And there's two ways that I like to do an extension. The first way that I normally do is if I have two-headed dragons. Now, if you don't know what a two-headed dragon is, it's when two locks end up marrying together, and at the root they're connected, but at the end they're separated. What I normally do is I usually cut off the shorter lock, and then I use that as an extension onto my other lock. Okay, this is one that I added on from my own hair some time ago, and then I'll use it as an extension. Now it was this length originally, and what I did was I just sewed it on to my other lock and made it into a fuller lock, a longer lock, just to make it more uniform. So that's one way that I would actually extend my hair, with using my own lock and then sew that on and make it one full lock. Another way would be creating a lock, and that's with the natural hairs that you
bundles.
Yeah, the kinky bundles, and I'll create a lock, and then once that lock is done proper or whatever, then I'll sew that on, and then I'll extend it that way, such as that cheesy behind Vivica Fox. Where is it?
Back here.
Whichever, that yellow looking one, yeah. Okay, so yeah. Alright, this is a lock extension that I've made. This one was actually made. I made it and created it and then sewed it onto my hair just to make it more uniform. So there's different ways that you could actually create a lock extension.
Okay, what type of tools do you need to make the like the lock extensions?
It's a crochet needle, the tiny headed one, and there's just a certain technique that you do when you're using it, but you're actually
matting the hairs,
matting it, meshing it, and creating a lock at the same time, which I'll put a clip into this video actually showing you how I've created lock extensions. But that's one way, and that's really the only way that you can, you know, actually make a lock, because you've got to make sure that that hair is mashed and matted in between.
Okay, so you need a crochet needle, you need the kinky bundles. Okay, and you mentioned sewing.
Yeah, you know, whatever color hair you have. I usually, even though my hair is red, I still use black. So it's best that you use a dark, I guess a dark thread, because if I've used a lighter thread before when I was blonde, and what I've noticed is when I colored my hair burgundy, you still saw the little blonde threading throughout the lock. So over time I would have to clip those out and then resew it with a black or darker colored. Yeah. So as your hair grows longer, and you know, you clip if you choose to clip until it is finally completely out. But if not, it's not really much of a bother. I just don't like when somebody's like really up close. I feel a little subconscious that they're looking at my hair like, ooh.
But it's a technique that you can use. Say, you know, for some people that may be struggling with hair breakage and their locks are a little, like they've grown out their hair but it's starting to break at different points, you can add the lock extension to still have that full look. Yeah.
Well, if my hair was to get thin in between the lock, I would do lock maintenance. I would do a stitching method that would secure that area, or I would either tie a knot in that area, making it more stronger in that weak area if it's in between. But what I would probably do is just do a sewing method that will strengthen it, or I would put a knot in that area to strengthen it.
Okay, so the knot won't weaken the lock?
No, the knot doesn't weaken it. Sometimes you can actually, the knot may loosen over time, and then you get that still weakened area in between, and eventually you would have to either clip it, you know, trim it off. But just like regular hair, even lock hair needs to get trimmed from time to time, because as you're manipulating it, it does get weak, and it, you know, sometimes it's best not to have those little loose ends or those weak ends. Just like loose natural, when your hair is frail and fragile at the ends, it's always good to trim. You get your nice trim.
Yeah.
Same with locked hair. Over time, you know, your ends may get a little weak or fragile looking. I can't really show you any now. But if you have any fragile, weak ends, good to trim your hair so this way it gives it a nicer, healthier look, and it will grow stronger at the root.
Okay. So I was thinking about trimming my hair too, because sometimes when I wash my hair I see like tiny little like hairs. It's not a whole lot, but it's like tiny little shed hairs.
At the end?
Yeah, like maybe it's, like the ends. So when you start to see maybe small hairs when you wash your hair, is that an indication that you need to trim your hair?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
If it's looking weak and you can see that it's weak, and it's usually at a wash that your hair is more pliable, and sometimes it may not need to be trimmed, it's just wet. So you gotta wait for it to actually dry to really see if that wet lock is actually weak or just wet.
Okay. And so the last question that I can think of is, how long do lock extensions last? Do you keep it in forever, or is there a certain time that you take them out and you put them back in? Like, are they forever, or do you have to keep doing maintenance, taking it out, putting it back in?
Well, with your hair, you always should try to, you know, from time to time look through your hair and to see if it needs to be maintained, like if it needs some repair. Because with locked hair, we manipulate it, we put rubber bands in it, we put those hairpins in it, and it could frail your locks in between. So you should always, from time to time, you know, as you sweep through your hair, you can feel it, and you will know whether it needs a repair. But when you put lock extensions in your hair, if it's done right, you can leave that in there forever, ever.
Because some people will start their hair with lock extensions and they just grow it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if it's done right, you can leave it in there. I mean, yeah.
So do you think it's another question?
Oh,
do you think it's a great method to start your hair?
I knew you was gonna say that.
Some people they are a little insecure about having little baby locks that are not exactly developed, and some people have expressed that they have jobs that they need to look a certain way, so little baby locks are not exactly the aesthetic that they want to go with. What do you think about starting your lock journey with lock extensions?
I would not start my lock journey with lock extensions, only because you don't know if that part ratio is good for that hair. So you actually gotta be careful, because if you start your hair with extensions, you don't know exactly how that lock is going to mold itself.
Yeah.
It thins itself out. It starts off kind of thin when you think about it. So you can't put an extension on a hair that hasn't actually matted and meshed and did its thing yet. So the best thing for you to do, if that's the case, you cannot wear it, you know, your job is not really accepting to your hairstyle, you may have to put on a wig, you know, you may have to try to throw it up, I don't know, you have to twist it up, do something
Get
to
versatile.
it. You gotta get creative with
keep your
it.
locks, you gotta do something.
Exactly. I mean, none of us really like that beginning stages. Sometimes we can embrace it. Sometimes it's hard to embrace because it's hard to really see yourself like that until it's actually fuller. But in the meantime, if it's something that has to deal with your job, you may have to mask it until you're able to actually bring it out. But a lock extension, it slows down the process of your hair developing, and it's not a really good way to start your locks off, because at some point in time that lock extension might be too heavy for that lock that's trying to develop, and it's not getting a chance to develop because it has this long extension pulling on it, and the process that mashes and, you know, tangles up inside isn't really able to do what it got to do because of this heavy thing. It may not seem heavy to you, but for that lock itself, it's heavy, especially when you wash it.
Yeah.
And it hasn't done its process yet.
Right. Okay.
So it's not really a good way to start off your lock. No, not a good way to start your lock journey off, at least in my eyes.
Yeah.
Some of you may feel different, you know, do as you please, but yeah.
Okay. Great. I think that's it. And I mean, they don't feel heavy only until you wash it.
Only till you wash it. That's when you realize the heaviness of your lock. Like when I wash my hair, I don't like the way it feels when it's just all the way back. So I like to swoop it in twos and I'll separate it like this on both sides. Then I'll wash one side, and then I'll do the same on this side. But once it's swept over my shoulder, the weight rests on my shoulder instead of falling on the back and pulling the roots.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great. So I hope that pretty much answered some of you guys' questions concerning lock extensions and even trimming your hair. We touched on that, and also locks in the workplace.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you, Mommy, for coming on here and
You're welcome.
and you know, bringing another perspective, because I have no experience with lock extensions, so it's
Yeah, you got such wonderful locks, I swear.
So that wraps up our discussion today, you guys, regarding lock extensions. And I thank my daughter Desiree Marie for this collab video, where you guys, if you have any questions or anything you want to add to this discussion, just list it down below. And if you want to check out her channel, her name is Desiree Marie. I will also link down below her link to her channel, so you can go over there, show your support, and also subscribe to her channel as well. She has a wonderful amount of things going on regarding locks and hair growth. All right, so thank you so much for joining us on this video, and don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe to both channels, and don't forget to join us in the next video.
Hey fam, where you going? You didn't subscribe yet. Well, listen, first of all, before you go, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget also to turn on that notification bell, so this way you will not miss another one of my videos. Okay? Make sure that you hit that subscribe button, click it, and then hit that little bell and make sure that it's lit. You will miss out on so much if you don't hit that subscribe button. And also hit that bell next to it. Make sure that it's turned on, so this way when I upload another video, you will not miss it at all, okay? You will be the first to know. So don't forget, give me those likes, thumbs up, and hit that subscribe button along with the bell at the bottom, and you will always know when I upload another one of these videos, okay? So, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Alright, I'll let you go sit down first. Alright. So, you want to do your intro first?
Okay.
Alright, so I'll turn this on.
Welcome, Loyalty Squad. This is the Velvet Locks with another wonderful video for you today. Now, in this video, we're going to be having a little lock discussion talk about extensions. Now, this is Desiree Marie, my daughter. She also has a lock channel on the YT. So I'm going to list down her channel down below and also in the description bar, so you can check out all the wonderful things she has to do regarding locked hair. Now, today's discussion is about extensions and the different ways of extensions.
Like, the different ways you can go about doing it. How do you know, what a good time to add that into your hair regimen,
Okay.
how it benefits your hair, what your experience is with it,
Okay.
and whatnot. Because people have a misconception about lock extensions, and it's not all bad. So
Yeah, we're going to get into that, because not all lock extensions are bad. Not everybody that put extensions in their hair that is locked is doing a bad thing to your hair. So we're going to get into a little bit more details on that, okay? So stay tuned. Now we do yours.
alright.
Hey fam, where you going? You didn't subscribe yet. Well, listen, first of all, before you go, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget also to turn on that notification bell, so this way you will not miss another one of my videos. Okay? Make sure that you hit that subscribe button, click it, and then hit that little bell and make sure that it's lit. You will miss out on so much if you don't hit that subscribe button. And also hit that bell next to it. Make sure that it's turned on, so this way when I upload another video, you will not miss it at all, okay? You will be the first to know. So don't forget, give me those likes, thumbs up, and hit that subscribe button along with the bell at the bottom, and you will always know when I upload another one of these videos, okay? So, I'll see you in the next video.